from a TCO perspective, I guess, the one thing which has been good, which is that we do a quarterly review with the board of all of the initiatives. We have a working board, i.e. a working group, which is kind of a subset of some of the board members, where we actually discuss all of the initiatives, what the TCO is, what the budget is, and we go through a vigorous budget planning cycle as well, and identifying risks if there's going to be additional budget that's going to be required. So an example of that is we had to accelerate our infrastructure modernization last year, which was essentially an additional budgeted item for about $750,000. The budget is supportive, but we continue to go back and have discussions on the overall TCO from our on-prem versus cloud, looking at the business requirements as well. And in addition, I do a document where we're kind of capturing what are all the cost savings associated with the transformation journey, and what is the cost avoidance with respect to either a better negotiation, contract reduction, having a discussion with the vendor and driving a different solution, which is much easier. And in parallel, not just from a transformation standpoint, that works the same way for a security roadmap as well. So doing it in parallel for both roadmaps.
The beauty of cloud is reduce cycle time, not necessarily reduce the cost, but reduce cycle time. And from the stand-up environment to the capability already existing with the cloud. So that is a time to value is very critical. We leverage that. And we often need to balance the cost. So there's internal debate. If you want to leverage cloud, so you will have those kind of consequences. But I really want to get into is on the TCO side of things of cloud readiness and environment. Very key is we dealing with a totally different world to compare on-premise. New capability, new control, new way of manage vendor, and even impact the way you manage a business process.
There are really three things that I'm doing to kind of help elevate the visibility and also kind of deliver on that transparent TCO. The first is around making the case, right? So fall of last year, taking advantage of the fact that we have a business goal to double our assets from 100 billion to 200 billion AUM within the next few years. That's a pretty ambitious goal. It's not going to happen through conventional means, and it requires increased sophistication, which is where kind of external data and AI kind of enters the challenge space. So on the back of those investment goals, kind of made a case, asked the senior executives and the board to kind of double down on investment in this area, and we will prove to you that you'll get your ROI. The second thing is actually doing the work. So since last fall, I would say we've been executing on joint initiatives with businesses and functions across real estate, pensions, a sizable investments team in our corporate areas, working across different roles. And we are experimenting, doing test and learn, and as quickly as possible for those kind of proven use cases where we've kind of delivered something powered by data and AI, getting it into production, which is where we can start to realize the value. And the third is around celebrating wins. So even quick wins, some of the early wins as of like this last January, we're trying not to be shy about it. We're actually vocalizing it. We have a win board. We take the opportunity to get in front of the board to share even like $1 million in savings through external data contract rationalization, which is something that we actually found in the matter of like a 30 to 45 day time span. That's going to be really important. And it actually, as you do that on a month-to-month, quarter-to-quarter basis, it actually makes the case for subsequent and hopefully more significant investment in later years. And it also gains visibility. I know someone mentioned a point around literacy, and building out literacy comes by creating tangible examples within your own business that people can start to relate to. So all that to say, it's been a change transformation that we're essentially leading, and we're bringing the stakeholders along for the journey.
We have something that we're evolving to internally in our company. We've got 15,000 employees. We're moving to an entirely new stack. It's predominantly cloud-based, et cetera. And what tends to happen in a company like this is everybody says, if it's not part of that new thing, don't even think about doing it. And yet, to Eric's point, there's always a lot of things that you need to do in between where you're ultimately going to get to and where you are now. And so we try to make those cases that, yeah, this isn't the end path, But this is something that is critically important for us to have to operate our business in order to get to the end path. And, as John Maynard Keynes said, in the long run, we'll all be dead. So let's make sure we can actually solve some of these problems in the short term. But we're able to take advantage of some huge disruptive technologies. And I think many of the points made, the cloud is a big thing and it is about agility, but there's a lot of embedded disruptions happening as well. I think object storage up on the cloud is one of the biggest disruptions. We're all used to paying for expensive storage technology. That has completely changed in a lot of the cloud environments. So being able to ride on those waves is something that's very important as well.